summary of obviously the great start tonight just helped you guys and just steamroll from there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, the biggest story is just the energy in the gym. The atmosphere is special, and it just it fires me up. We had Coach Kress, the legend John Kress, come into the locker room after the game and talk to the team. That was special. And it was so much fun seeing him in his element, in a locker room, standing up in front of a team, players looking at him, and he got started, and then he just, you could see he got on a roll, and everybody's leaning forward, and my foot's bouncing, and gets us all fired up, and then at the end he goes, bring it in, and it was awesome. So that's what's cool about what we've accomplished so far is it's people like Coach Kress that's so happy and proud, because he built this place, and but yeah, got off to a great start, shared the ball, played hard. We measure and value deflections. That tells me how hard we're playing. And our typical target is 38 deflections, and we had like 50-something, which I believe is a record. We're going to go back and check, which all the other statistics pale in comparison to those type things. Offensive rebounding percentage, which was good tonight. Deflections, we played hard. Then we shared the ball. At Wilmington, I felt like there was a lot of 1-2 pass possessions that we were a little stagnant. And not that guys were selfish in any way, but in that big environment, we had a bunch of guys that want the moment, want the ball. And we talked a lot about our offense gains energy when we share the ball. When the ball moves, we start humming. Our offense has a rhythm. And I thought we did that tonight. We shared it. We took care of the ball. And it was a great win.
I was talking with Rain this morning, and he kept mentioning, as all your players have over this streak, that you guys try, as Don Saley says, you keep the main thing, right? You do the same thing consistently day after day. Why is this team able to do that, man, and crowd out everything else?
Those kids, they're special, they're mature. I tell you all the time, I've said this before, my mom reminds me all the time, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And the guys in that locker room they're just consistent as heck. When you're on a winning streak like that, you're fighting everything. We're fighting human nature every day. You're fighting human nature when you're up 28 and 30, and it's a chance where I can go get mine and get a bucket, and continuing to play together and move the ball and all those type things. And that's what we said in one of the 4-minute war medias was, hey, we're playing a little bit of me ball right now. The ball's got to move, and then boom, they fix it. And that's what they do all the time. In a one-day prep, it's hard. We do way more mental stuff in film than we do on the floor because we want to make sure we're fresh when the ball goes up in the air at the jump circle. And I don't know if there's a team, I don't know this, but I can't imagine there's a team in the country that concentrates more and is more efficient in film sessions. That's hard, man, like sitting in a classroom, and you know how it is, your eyes get heavy and things like that. Those guys lean forward and they lock into the details of preparation.
I saw you had a moment with Coach Kress in the hallway. You just gave him a hug, and Sue was there. And did he say anything about this taking him back to the moments that he had in the '90s like this?
Yeah, his message was, here we are in January, and it's going to go boom, boom, boom. Like, it goes January to March in a hurry. And obviously he talked about the great I made him talk about the great accomplishments that he had and his teams achieved and things like that, and he basically talked about what we just talked about. You get there by being great in the daily details, and he's just a treasure trove of basketball knowledge and of life knowledge. Like when I go over to Marina Variety Store, I don't know if I'm giving somebody a plug, sorry Kyle, I don't know if they pay for this or not, but that's our spot to go over and have breakfast, and it's unbelievable. He'll start to tell stories about how he was at Isle Palms one day, and it was Hubie Brown, Rick Pitino, him, and somebody else, and they went out on the beach and drew the basketball court on the beach, and they're out there like, walking through plays and concepts. I'm like, are you kidding me? This actually happened? But how cool is that I get spend time with him and pick his brain. He's truly special.
Are you having to come up with different motivational tools, tactics, or is this team just kind of, not cruise control is not the right word, they're just on automatic?
It's just the next thing. I asked him at halftime, I said, what's the most important thing in the history of our program? And they all, in unison, say the next thing we do. That's it. That's it. You know, at some point you're going to face adversity. Everybody does. And, you know, we use the formula E plus R equals O, right? E are the events, that's stuff that happens. R is your response, and O is the outcome. And you can't focus on the E's because you can't always control them. It's how you respond. Right now it's responding to success and good things that are happening. But when you face adversity, it's the same thing, right? It's being great at the next thing. And that's what this team does. They're very, very consistent. They're very mature. It's a joy to coach. I mean, it's fun when you're winning. A lot of people say, how do you spell fun? W-I-N. But they are. They're just a joy to be around. They're selfless. It's a special group. Now we turn the page, you rest tonight, go to class tomorrow, get back after it, and we got a tough road trip, you know, going up east.
That being said, when you go to, you know, West Long Branch, New Jersey, and the gym's not like this gym, and the team doesn't have anything to lose at this point, you know, you haven't had the adversity right now. Do you try to build some adversity for your own team, or how do you kind of handle going?
I mean, I guess the adversity is the standard. It's the standard because, you know, when you don't meet it in a repetition in practice, when you don't meet it, we address it. You know, whoever coaches say all the time the standard is the standard. That's true. So we face adversity every single day. I mean, it's not a picnic at our practices. You've been there before. You've been in one of our film sessions. Like, you go in there with thick skin because, you know, it's not peaches and roses in there. Like, you know, we address what's broken and you know, iron sharpens iron. Our practices aren't for the faint of heart. They're competitive every single day. Obviously, in a one-day prep, we couldn't go out and have a hard physical practice, but the adversity that we face every day is how hard we go at each other.
And is that representative of, say, Ante's black guy, he gets it with him and Dalton banging for heads, going for an offensive rebound?
He wasn't that pretty to begin with. So,
Have you ever been around a group like this?
I mean, it's special. Every team is special in its own way. As a coach, you go back through the years and years and years you coach teams, and you could go back to a specific team and remember the great things, the great qualities about that team. I'm not here to compare just because we're on a great winning percentage. You know, throughout the course of my coaching, I mean, you think about last year's team, and you might say, well, you were 17 and whatever we were. So no, like there were great things. I saw Nick Farrar the other day at UNCW. I hugged him so tight. I told him I'm proud of him. You know, and he looked at me, and I'm happy for him, and he's doing really well. And he goes, he said to me, he goes, you know, Coach, some of those things that you're on me about all the time, like I think about those sometimes. And I just want you to know I didn't forget it. And I go, that's what I'm talking about, man. That made me happy. Like, you just warmed my heart. And, you know, so every team is special in their own way. But this team, obviously, we're on a really, really special journey, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
Have you learned anything about these guys during this winning streak? Because no one knows them better than you, right, Coach? But still, is there something you've learned where you're like, well, that's cool?
Yeah. We have fun. We have fun. Like, we go into film sessions, and it's serious, but, like, Coach Prosecutors say, you got to make your team laugh every day. You know? You got to make yourself I've learned that Benny Burnham's stinking hilarious.
Is he?
He doesn't say boo. Like, Benny doesn't say anything, but he's got the driest, quick-wit sense of humor you'll ever meet.
A little quirky, right?
Yeah, we're all screwed up in our own way.
I meant that as a blanket statement for all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little, yeah.
Thanks, Pat.
All right.